So, have you sent countless emails to potential clients only to hear crickets in return? Or maybe a client asks you, "Oh, great, can you send me samples of your work?" And you're like, "How do I present these samples effectively to this client?" Well, these questions, we're going to be answering it in today's video. Hello, welcome back to the Creative Beam Woman. If you're new here, you're welcome. This channel is dedicated to incredible women like you out there. And if you're a guy, you're welcome to stay. And so what we share on this channel are actionable strategies, tips, and mindset guidance that help you to ensure that you put your best foot forward in your work from home career, whether that is in freelancing or that is in having a remote job. So click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any content that comes out from here. Every content is important in its own right. Okay, so let's dive into today's video. So first things first, why is having an online portfolio important? You can think of it as it's being a living representation of a professional journey, and it also being your digital business card. So see it as a form that tells clients the kind of work you do, your expertise, your skills, and it's something that can be easily accessible to clients anytime and anywhere they are. And it's also something that you can use to actually, without just sending in maybe Google Doc links or Google Drive links, even though those still have their parts, it just helps you to be able to just show off your best work. So now that you know the importance of having an online portfolio, let's go into what are the key things an online portfolio should have for it to be effective. So the first thing I'm going to say is make sure that you are only showing your best work. So yes, maybe you have done 20 projects or 30 projects or 10 projects. You don't want to just overload everything on the portfolio site. Make sure that you choose the best work you're most proud of. Maybe the work that you got the best testimonials from, or you got the best feedback from. Make sure you highlight those work. Pick out those ones and curate them and put them on your portfolio site. Now, let's say a client probably want to see some samples that are not on your portfolio site. This is where I advise that you can now have a backup somewhere, maybe a Google Drive link and all of that, and then you can carefully curate the kind of pieces that would appeal to that particular client, and you can send those over to the client. So make sure that you are showing off only your best work on the portfolio. The next thing you also want to do is choose the right platform. Now, when I say choose the right platform, what do I mean? Am I saying that there's one platform that is better than the other? Well, what I'm saying basically is ensure that you choose the platform that you complete control over the design and over the website. A platform that isn't too technical for you to understand. So someone else might be so good with WordPress that they can create a portfolio site or website for themselves on WordPress. Another person, WordPress might be too technical and they do better with maybe a site like Wix or a site like Squarespace, all those ones that you just have to just drag and drop. So just focus on the one that gives you the kind of control that you need, or the kind of technical know-how that you can be able to apply to that particular website build. Sometimes maybe you are like a website developer friend that can help you set up your website. That is fine, but whatever route you decide to take, make sure you have complete control and you can still be able to make changes yourself. So that if you need to upload maybe portfolio samples or correct something, you don't have to now be waiting or trying to hire someone to come and do it for you, especially when you're starting out. Then another thing you want to do is tell the story behind your work. Now, don't just dump samples. Just dump logos, for example, you're a graphic designer, or just dump mock-ups you've created, or just dump content pieces for your content writer and say, after all, it's just a portfolio site. You don't want to see samples, right? Make sure you also tell a story behind each of the project or each of the sample that you have on your site. You want to talk about, okay, what was the purpose behind this project? What was the steps that you took? So you want to talk about from ideation to execution, and then you now also want to mention the results that happened when this was created. So for example, maybe as a website developer, you created a website for maybe a non-profit company, and then within 3 months you got to understand that within 3 months of their website going live, maybe they were able to, with that, to get a lot of donation, and they were able to, be able to establish their credibility and get grants and all of that. All things are results, and results that can speak to your work. So you want to ensure you mention that as well. Stories are memorable. So beyond just planting or pasting your portfolio pieces or samples, make sure each one has, it doesn't have to be like a long essay. Just structure it. First, what is this project about? Okay, what went, the work that went behind it? 3, what are the results? So these 3 sections can actually take your portfolio pieces from a regular portfolio pieces to something that was well thought through and something that actually stands out to the clients. Then on your portfolio sites, also have an about me section, because at the end of the day, your client is hiring you. They're not hiring your portfolio. So yes, you want to show them your portfolio, but ensure you also have an about me section. So now you might be asking, what will you put in the about me section? Well, here is where you can put in like your images that show a bit more into your personality. Of course, still keep your images authentic but professional. And then, I'm not saying you should start putting up bikini pictures just because you're trying to be authentic, but maybe pictures that show your casual side while still being, modest and still being your true self. And then don't just talk about your experience and your expertise. Make sure, yes, you mentioned about, it shouldn't just be all that you mentioned there. Maybe you can talk a little more about your hobbies. You can talk a little more about your passions. You can talk a little more about, the other things that you bring to the table. What you're doing with this about me section is just trying to paint a picture in the mind of the client of, okay, what extra thing am I going to get from hiring Blessing? What extra thing am I going to get from hiring Chioma? What extra thing am I going to get from hiring Lucy? That extra thing, that hidden extra thing, like, okay, she likes to laugh, or she's fun, she has this fun time, she has this hobby, and all of that. It just gives a little, pride into your personality. So I encourage that don't just only have your portfolio site that just shows your portfolio, have an about me section as well. Another important section you should also have on your website is a contact me section. So definitely, you might be like, but they're getting to my portfolio site maybe from an email I sent to them. Can they just go back to the email? There's this rule I learned from someone who I work in. He said, as much as possible, make the next step for the client as easy as possible. Like, make their life as easy as possible. Don't make anyone do extra job. Why? Because life happens. If I click out to a particular site and I'm like, okay, I'm going through it, and okay, I've learned about her, I've seen her portfolio pieces, great, how do I contact her? And then I start searching for how to contact her. Life happens. What if I get distracted? I have to do something else, and then from there I leave, or from there I'm like, I can't go back to my email. So make sure that the next step is as easy to find and easy to, like, it just makes life easy for the person. Maybe while creating your portfolio site, have this thing in your mind that how can I make life easy for the prospective client that's coming to this page. So have a contact me section so that immediately they see your portfolio pieces, your about me section, contact, they can go to contact. So in that contact, straight ahead, you don't need to beat around the bush. Tell them how to contact you. So you can have a contact form, and so that contact form, when they fill it, it routes to your email, or directly you can just leave your email that, if you'd like to reach out to me, send me an email at -- Make sure your email is not something cheesy like cutegirl97@gmail.com. Please don't do that. So make sure, if maybe you also want to add in your LinkedIn or social platforms, put it in there, but ensure that whatever social media platform you're putting in there, it's the one that is your professional one. You don't want to put in your TikTok, and then when they click your TikTok, instead of them seeing maybe something that speaks to your business side or professional side, they see you dancing or people TikTok challenge. You get what I'm saying? Then also ensure that you optimize for user experience, and that is just in such a way that doesn't make your website as easy to navigate as possible. You know, I've already mentioned that make the next step very easy for your client. So maybe on your portfolio page, you have a button that says, oh, contact me now. When they click on that contact me, it should lead to the contact page. They shouldn't click on the contact me and it leads to the about page. Or they shouldn't click on view my services and it takes them to about me, or it takes them to contact page. So ensure it's easy to navigate. Ensure the next step is as easy as possible. No matter how playful or clever you want to get, always think simplicity, always think easy. Okay? Then also ensure that you have your testimonials and social proof on your portfolio site. So even if they are, for now, maybe you only have endorsements on LinkedIn, you know, maybe where a past employer or a colleague endorses you for a particular skill, you can link to, you know, those particular reviews or endorsements on your portfolio site so they can go and see it from there. And then if you have any social proof, testimonial from past work, past client, put it there. So you can ensure that, if you ask me, I would say ensure you have some of your testimonials showing up on your about page, showing up on your portfolio page, and if it's possible, you can have one or two showing up on your contact page, you know, and just ensure that even if you're going to have maybe logos of companies you've worked with, ensure you have permission to share them. Because I'm going to give you a personal experience. At the time I put up a social proof testimonial from a client, and I think about a year later, I got an email saying, oh, take it down. We didn't want you to share this. And I felt terrible. And so after then, I always ensure that whatever testimonial I'm sharing, you know, it's something that the client won't have a problem with me sharing. Next thing you want to do is keep your portfolio updated, because the portfolio that you created at the beginning of your journey, of your career journey, it's not going to reflect, you know, your growth in 6 months, in 1 year, in 2 years. So set a reminder that, okay, maybe every 4 months or every 6 months or every year, I'm going to go back. In fact, 1 year is not too much. Maybe every 4 months or couple of months, I'm going to go back and update the portfolio samples on my website. As I'm telling you this right now, a clock is ticking in my head that I need to update my portfolio sites. But typically you need to because just imagine that now your skills have grown so much and the pieces that you still have on your portfolio are your beginner phase pieces. That's not going to help you because they are not currently representing the current skill level that you are at now. So ensure you update your portfolio pieces, update maybe any information on your website that needs to be updated. Maybe your email has changed. Make sure you put in the right email. Maybe there's another social media channel that you are more active on. Make sure you update. Just ensure that it's a living representation of your professional journey, just like I said at the beginning. So wherever you are in your professional journey, your portfolio should, as much as possible, mirror that. Okay, so now that we have spoken about, you know, what are the key pieces that you should have in your portfolio site, what now happens when you now get the question that send me samples of your work? Would you just respond with, oh, absolutely, here are the samples to my work, looking forward to hearing from you? That's an okay statement, but now I'm challenging you that instead of just saying looking forward to hearing from you, where you're leaving all the eggs in the client's basket in quotes, why don't you, you know, encourage them to give you a response? This is what I mean. So a client comes to you and say, share samples of your work with me. Instead of giving the regular response of, oh great, here is the samples to my work, you drop in the link and you say looking forward to hearing from you. I want you to say something like, here are the samples of my work, let me know if you're open for a quick chat, 10 minutes or 20 minutes chat, so I can learn more about your goals. Or here are the samples to my work, can you let me know which particular need or which particular goals you are doing at the moment? Here are the samples to my work, can you so maybe you're a content writer, you're like, here are the samples to my work, can you let me know your current goals for the next quarter? What are you doing? Number one, you are prompting the client to give you a response, which already is setting them up to respond to your email. The second thing, you are demonstrating interest. You're demonstrating that you're proactive. You are actually already thinking of how to be helpful to the clients, and that is already setting you up to get a response. What does he also do for you? Another thing that it does for you is it increases conversion chances. If, for example, I reach out to someone and say, can you send me samples for your work? And then they tell me, here are the samples to your work. Can we get on a quick 10 minutes chat to discuss your goals? I'm more likely going to take them up on that 10 minutes chat and say, okay, I want to hear your ideas, or let's get on the chats. And you're already one step closer. So instead of next time just sending an email with samples of your work and then it looks like crickets follow, you haven't gotten any response from the client, you keep following up, no response, try and think that as you're sending the samples of your work, ask a question that prompts a response, ask a question that demonstrates your interest, ask a question that increases your conversion chances. So what is the totality of everything I am saying today? I want to tell you that when it comes to building your portfolio, it's not just about pasting your work. It's all about finding ways to ensure that your portfolio size clearly addresses the client's needs. I might be wondering, how would I know the client that lands on my website? Well, that is, where you already know the target clients you're going after. So if you are going after healthcare clients, only healthcare clients, then definitely your portfolio site has to speak to healthcare clients. So ensuring that from your portfolio site, people can see how working with you is going to feel like. You also need to ensure that when you share samples to your work, you don't just share it and look like you're leaving all the decision to the client to get back to you. You're also prompting dialogue. With this, you're setting yourself more up a little bit further than the regular person who just does things the lack of a better word, lazy way. Okay, so I hope you got 1, 2, or 3 tips from today's video. I will see you in my next video. Make sure you click the subscribe link, you turn on the notification bell. Have a great day, evening, morning, wherever you are. See you.